I was motivated by like, I don't want to be a disappointment. And then, I found Origin and I dug my heels in and tried to do everything that I could. Like I said, just try to make myself as valuable as I could, as available as I could. I was the guy who would go and get people from the airport. Like, it was my favorite job ever because I got like 2 hours with all of these business leaders and just super unique people that I just thought were super interesting, and I just got to pick their brain, and I got a lot out of those rides. So.
Ty, what's up, brother? So great to see you, man. It's been years, I think, at this point since you and I have talked.
Brian, what's happening, man? Good to see you.
You got a family now. That's wild, right? You got a little girl, is that right? One daughter?
Yes, a 1-year-old little daughter named Elsie.
That's awesome, man. How's that been for you?
The best thing I could ever ask for, the best thing that could ever have happened to me.
Yeah. You moved to Southern California a little bit and now you're back in Maine, is that right?
Yep, I was down in San Diego, working for Jocko Fuel down there. We were setting up a media division down there, and just being a little bit closer to Jocko and the podcast and Victory. So once I found out that the little baby was on the way, we came back to Maine.
Yeah, are you from Maine originally? I know your folks live in Maine, right?
Yep.
Do they live in Farmington? Is that right?
It's a little town outside of Farmington called New Sharon, which
Oh
is
yeah.
500 people. But
Yeah.
basically, so yeah, I'm from also Farmington and New Sharon.
Oh, I know the area, but nobody else who ever listened to this podcast would know New Sharon, but I do. And I'm proud to be able to say that I do know exactly where that's at. That's where Joe's from too, right? Is he from New Sharon?
Industry.
Oh,
Industry.
industry. Okay. All right.
For all these little towns, they're all connected. They all go to the same high school. There's like 30 towns that go to Mount Blue High School, which is Farmington. So yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah. Dude, it's awesome to see what you're doing. Did you listen to the podcast that I had with Pete just last week?
I did. I had it sent to me a couple times actually, and that was that was very cool to hear.
Yeah, man. I've always thought really highly of you since we first met. You did some videos with me for our business. I think you used our property a handful of times to shoot some video for Origin and Jocko Fuel. And I've always thought highly of you. And then I didn't know this, but Pete said that you bought a golf course and you are rebuilding a golf course. Why the hell would you do that? With all due respect.
It's a great question. We're kind of asking that ourselves right now, but I mean, honestly, so I bought it, just to be clear, I bought it with my parents. We went 50-50 on it, on just like a land loan. And, I was looking for an investment. I was looking for something to put some money that I've been saving up into. And I was thinking, Airbnb, but wanted a piece of property that was unique, and was looking all over the coast. And I just drive by this golf course every day for the past 10 years that's been abandoned. And I got talking to it with my parents, and we gave them a call, and the price was right, so we did it.
Where is it? I may have drove past it on occasion, depending on where it is, but where's the golf course?
You probably drove past it driving down one of the main roads, Route 2, but it's in Chesterville, an even smaller little town
Is
around here.
that the route to Strong or what route is that?
Man, it's like headed between where you used to live and if you were going to go to Augusta, basically.
Okay. Oh, got it. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've seen some other courses out there. I mean, my real question based on that, I know your parents are I think they're into real estate. I think they're into rental units, if I remember you saying years ago. Is that accurate?
Yeah, well, my mom, she started doing some house flipping like probably about 10 years ago, maybe just like one foreclosure flip a year. My dad's been working in the Coast Guard. He retired after 30 years, so he's a couple years out. Um, I was looking for something to do. My mom was looking for her next project, and I was coming back from California, and it's like we spent 2 years away from each other, and we just figured how awesome would it be to team up on something and see what we can do.
So the question then is, I mean, I know they're your folks, right? And so there's obviously that. So let's table that conversation for a minute. But we're talking about a lot of money here, and we're talking about a lot of time, a lot of commitment, a lot of effort. Why do you think they believe in you? What is it about you? And also, I'm going to add Pete into that equation because Pete spoke so highly of you on last week's podcast that there's something about you, and I recognized it as well. I want to hear from you what you think it is because I know there's a lot of guys who would like to be in your position, but you created a lot of this. So, what do you think about that?
Man, I think I just take advice from the right people. Like I think I just want to impress the right people, which is like people like my parents, people like Pete, people like Jocko. Like I just want to, live up to I guess their expectations. It's my own expectations too, but um I mean, why my parents, want to go into it with me. I mean, they had their doubts about Origin and me quitting college and going and working for this like little company and not going to college. They had massive doubts, and I believed I saw Pete's vision and was just excited to be a part of it in any way that I could. So, did I think that it would turn into, what it's turned into? Maybe, but I don't even know if I could have imagined that back then. So, they've just seen me make, I guess, the right decisions over a decent period of time, I guess.
Yeah. Would you consider yourself ordinary or extraordinary?
Literally the most average person you like. That is like a running joke in my group of friends and my family. It's like I was literally the middle person in my class of high school, like a totally average like athlete. I'm like completely average at everything that I do, and I just try to like, instead of, that it used to bum me out that I'm like, I wasn't super good at any one particular thing, but I think I'm, starting to realize that I can just kind of, if I can just take that and apply, being pretty good at a lot of things, and I can use that to my advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked with so many guys who one of the common little bits of feedback I get, and I'm not trying to be insulting at all, so I hope it does not come across like that, is guys constantly tell me they want quote unquote ordinary guys in the podcast. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, all of us are ordinary. Every single one of us. You talk about being the middle of everything. I was the middle of everything. I was never a great athlete. I was decent, never a great student, decent. I could get a little bit of money to go to a local college here in southern Utah. Like nothing extraordinary, nothing special. But I'm always fascinated with this idea that not only are men who listen to this podcast wrapped up in what makes somebody great, but also the fact that they don't see themselves as somebody who could be great, even though they might consider themselves ordinary people.
I mean, I remember the first time that I took a trip with Jocko. He asked me at the end of the trip. He was like, Ty, were you nervous to come down here? And because we were in New York City, never been to New York City. I was with freaking Jocko Willink. I, was just
What a way to
tagging.
go to New York for the first time.
It is, yeah. It was quite a shell shock, but I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. I was freaking nervous, and he's like, why? I was like, because I'm just around like a lot of extraordinary people, like a lot of just high performing people. He's like, man, you're just. He just told me that you're just gonna learn that people are just people, and yeah, I mean that's kind of stuck with me for quite a while.
Yeah. I wish more people knew that lesson. But also to be fair, like I did see a few of the early months and years of you with Origin, and I saw your work ethic. Pete saw it clearly, talked about it last week. Um, he said there's something different about you, and I think from the surface you might say, ordinary guy, but he did say there's something different about you. Would you agree? Is there something different about you than your peers besides grades or the average metrics we usually define ourselves by?
I mean, I think that I wanted to be when it comes to Origin and Jocko Fuel and getting close to Pete, like I wanted to be close to Pete. I wanted to be in his conversations with, building his business. Like that is truly like what I wanted when I was, I did a year in college, and I was going to class, and I just knew like this is I'm wasting my time here. Um,
Hmm.
and I just knew that I wanted to be around somebody that was building something, and so I know that I just did everything that I could to make myself as valuable as possible to Pete and everyone else that was around me. I mean, I guess you could say that's different. Like it doesn't make necessarily me any different, just what I wanted, I suppose.
I think there's a level of humility that people might hear in your voice, which, some people might say a little bit of, I wouldn't say fear, but a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of uneasy footing. I really don't know how to describe it, but I think it's something that makes you a relatable person. And I admire that. I really respect that because we see these people on social media and they're all larger than life figures. They're already succeeding at high levels like Jocko, like Pete, like Jordan Peterson, like all the people we're used to seeing. And then there's guys like us who still have some of that same vigor and excitement about what we're doing, but maybe it isn't that same level of notoriety that you see from some of these heavy hitter, for lack of a better term.
I mean, you're definitely right about like I don't know what the word is either about like fear or what it was, but I was motivated by like I don't want to be uh, I don't want to be a disappointment to all these, especially my parents. I don't want to I was slightly headed down a party path, kind of like not so awesome path that I wasn't proud of. No one was super proud of. Um, and then found Origin and just dug my heels in and tried to do everything that I could. Like I said, just try to make myself as valuable as I could, as available as I could. Like one of my favorite like side jobs was like Pete would. I was the guy who would go and get people from the airport, like regardless of what
I remember that.
time it was. Like I went and got people from the airport, and it was my favorite job ever because I got like 2 hours with all of these business leaders and just super unique people that I just thought were super interesting, and I just got to pick their brain, and I got a lot out of those rides. So yeah, and that just came from trying to make myself as valuable as I could.
That's actually, I hope people hear what you just said because I think most guys, when they want to achieve something big, they would say to themselves, well, I want to be in the boardroom, right? And you have been in the boardroom, but they say, I want to go from here to the boardroom, right? And you went from here to, I'll pick people up if I have to. And
Totally.
and most people would say, well, I don't want to pick people up from the airport. That's better than the boardroom because you have one-on-one time with them for literally 4 hours round trip. People don't get one-on-one time with Jocko in the boardroom. Who gets 4 hours with Jocko? Like nobody. But you went and picked him up and you got 4 hours out of something everybody else would say, nah, I'm not interested. That's beneath me.
Well, and it was a big part of it was that sometimes it was at 8 o'clock on a Saturday or something like that, and people would call me up and say, "Hey, can you go get this person?" Or tomorrow morning, "Can you go get this person?" and I just, did everything did everything that I could to say yes as much as possible. Like, obviously, there's times that you can't say yes to things, like you have plans or whatever. But I did, I did my best from at least for the first, 4 or 5 years of working for Pete, of just do everything that's asked of you and offer to do more. Like, to state that you want more. You want more responsibility. You want to do as much as you can. Like that. I think I did that, and that built a lot of trust, I think.
I hear a lot of guys talk about wanting to do more and they're willing to do more, but it's always with attached to a statement, and the statement is they don't pay me to do that. They don't pay me enough to take care of that. That's above my pay grade. But this is the antithesis of what you're talking about.
I was looking at it like I was going to college. Like, I always comment like Origin University for a reason, because like all my friends were in college. I wasn't. And in the back of my mind, like everyone kind of thought, like, he's, dropped out of college, working, whatever. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm getting the best college out of anybody that I know. Like, I get to learn from people that are actually doing it right now. Um, so that's just how I looked at it. Was just like, I'm just here to learn. Like, I like learning, and especially in this realm. Um, so yeah.
I think it's one thing to believe in yourself, and that's hard. I've had to be there as I've grown multiple businesses. But then there's the element of bringing other people on. It's like I can buy into my own delusion. Now I got to get other people to buy into my delusion. And I imagine that you have, well, how many people do you have working with you currently with Fairway Fields?
Oh no, it's
It's just
me,
you?
my parents, and we have one carpenter who's working on some stuff. Like, it's not like, we've built like a good social media and stuff, and I kind of expected that out of myself because that's what I've been doing for the past 10 years. So I would hope I didn't expect it to the level that it's gotten so fast, but it's not, like, we haven't done anything yet. Like we're getting ready to open next week, and I think there's a lot of good local sentiment. But like, I started working for Origin for Pete because I wanted to build a big brand myself, and I never really knew what it was. And it's like, I figured it would just like reveal itself after a little while of trying something. And so I say that to say, like, I got I have bigger dreams for Fairway Fields than just Chesterville, but I want to make Chesterville as good as I possibly can first.
Is that where you guys live now? Do you live in Chesterville?
I live in New Sharon.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, man, I've got so many questions about this from not only the growth standpoint, but the business perspective, because, it's a rural town, it's a rural community, and, it went out of business for a reason. I don't know what that reason is. Maybe the people who owned it retired. Maybe they just didn't want to do it anymore. Maybe there wasn't enough business. I don't know. Did you look into that when you decided to buy the course?
Yeah, so I mean, we were looking at it just like a piece of land. It was 44 acres along the Sandy River, and it was
Mm.
just a beautiful piece of property. So you know, we didn't even. I knew I wanted. I was like, okay, I want to buy it. I happened to talk to my parents after I called the guy. It was literally just a for sale sign. He never listed it online. It was just for sale by owner, and he had his number like written on a sign that was like trees overgrowing it. I called him. I told my parents that I talked to him, and they're like, "Oh, we were actually getting ready to call him too." And I was like, "Perfect. Let's just go
Whoa,
50."
really?
Yeah, yeah. And I said, let's just go 50-50 on it, and let's just get it, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with it after. Um, so we come to find out, the guy, he didn't, he was a golfer. There was a previous owner before him that ran it really successfully, kind of really built the reputation of the golf course, with the community around here. The last owner, he did a good job for, I think 4 or 5 years, and then I think he just realized how hard it was running a golf course,
No
and
doubt.
I don't want to run a typical golf course either. Like I'm not even really a golfer. I just started golfing last year, so we have some other plans for it.
Well, you can't say that and not tell me at least a little bit about what you have planned.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to talk about it. I mean, when I go when I go traveling for work or we go to cities, like we always go to Top Golf. Like I love Top Golf.
Yeah.
So I want to we're gonna do like a countryside Top Golf. Like turn basically a quarter of the property into into a basically a Top Golf. And I'm actually talking with the company Top Tracer, which is a subsidiary of Top Golf, and they're going to bring all their tech in, hopefully, and we're going to really turn it into, like a cool Maine rural, I guess, rustic Top Golf. So there's that side of things, a regular driving range, the whole golf side of things, and then minus that, and we still have 30 acres to work with of what we want to do, and we want to put up an Airbnb, and we want to attach like maybe like 3 private holes, like maybe restore like 3 of the holes that were there because they've been overgrown now for 10 years. Take 3 holes and make it private to, if you book the Airbnb out, then those are yours.
Is
And
it 18 holes or 9 holes or what's the course now?
it was 9 holes.
9 holes. Got it.
Right now, I mean, it's a field right now. Like it was an overgrown field when we bought it. It's like it hadn't been I think it closed in 2016 was the last time it was open.
Well,
So
I imagine the efficiency of 44 acres is a challenge too, because I'm looking at my property, and you've been out there in
yeah,
Maine, 50 acres, which I think 32 of it was field, including the house and the property, and then the other 16, 17 acres was wooded. But you've got to be super efficient in that amount of space. People might hear that and say, they're sitting on their tenth of an acre lots and thinking, that's a ton of acreage. It's really not that much when you think about putting 9 holes on 44 acres.
yeah, yeah. I mean, all of the old equipment that came to run the golf course came with the place, just kind of like halfway apart. So we had a local guy come in named Ralph, and he just came and fixed everything. Pretty awesome. Showed us exactly what he did. Kind of taught me what he did anyway. And yeah, it's a beast. Like totally it totally went over my head anytime I went playing golf. Like this is like you're like taming nature constantly, and it's like that is a brutal. That is a game you're not gonna win eventually.
Unless you're out here, like the joke, and I don't know if I ever told you this, but the joke is that everything in Maine is trying to live and survive. Everything in Utah, southern Utah anyways, is trying to die or kill you. And so it's a little bit of a different. You should come out here and golf with me sometime. It's a little different than in Maine, but equally as learning, I'm sure.
Yeah, just 2 different sets of problems, I'm sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And there's always a guy named Ralph or Joe or whoever it might be who's like got everything figured out. You're like, you need to get your truck towed, call Ralph. You need to, I don't know, jumpstart your car. Ralph will take care of it. There's always a guy like that, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 different sets of problems. I am looking forward to it though. Like we're gonna start with 1 hole and just say, we're gonna restore the green, we're gonna restore the fairways, and we're just gonna see how that goes. And there's a lot of golf courses around. I'm pretty sure we can figure it out. But not to
Yeah.
say it's like easy or anything. Definitely not to say that. But yeah, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna make it a really cool experience down there. Just the whole property itself. Like I want part of like the bigger thing is that My favorite place in Maine, there's a lot of tourists that come to Maine. Like I looked up the
Yeah.
stats. I looked up the stats, and there's I think 4.5 million people that go to Acadia every year.
Mm.
Uh, national.
Which is essentially 4 to 5 times the population of Maine, essentially, is what that is.
Yeah, exactly. So like just a massive amount of tourists like worldwide that come to this one little place, in Maine, and like I'd never even been there. Like, I've heard of Acadia and whatever, but
You never been to Acadia?
I have now, but
That's
before I
wild, man.
started researching this, like
I'm at
I
the
don't
base of Zion National Park. That's like you coming out to Utah and not going to Zion. And I'm like, I've never been there. It's 20 minutes from my house.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. I was like, I never, I always thought of that, like, that's where the tourists go. Like, that's where
Right.
the tourists go. We have our place up here in Western Maine. And my favorite part of Maine is Western Maine and in the mountains over here. And, I would like to do my part in, showing Western Maine to some of those tourists that want to come visit Maine. I don't think it's really in any of the it's not in any of like the tourist books, or if you Google where to go in Maine, like you're not really gonna see this area. So I'd like to help out in that department, bring some visitors this way.
What has been the local reception? You said there's a lot of golf courses and I've seen them, but what is the local reception? Are people excited? Are they nervous? Are they skeptical? Like what? Because you have a lot of salt of the earth type individuals. Not frankly, I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. Not a whole lot of like prosperity and abundance, and I'm trying to wonder like what is the reception like as you're trying to do this and build this out?
I mean, it's been really awesome. Like,
Hmm.
so the reputation of this golf course is that, like this is where everyone first played golf. It's where I first played golf. It's where my dad, I'm pretty sure, first played golf. But all like the pretty much the whole surrounding community, like this was the laid back place to go and learn how to play. Uh, uh, Take your family there. It was never the nicest golf course, not a super long golf course. It was just known for being a really laid back place to come hang out, and that is what I want to bring back to the place. Like this beautiful piece of property that's just a laid back, awesome place to come hang out. That's what I'd like to bring back, and people are super excited that somebody's doing something with it. Um, so yeah, a lot of really positive feedback.
Yeah. Just to get a little personal, and I hope you'll be willing to explore this with me. Obviously you're not making money now. You're losing money. So let's just call it for what it is. How are
Yep.
you making ends meet? Because there's a lot of guys who are listening to this podcast and they're thinking the same thing. I want to buy that local diner. I want to buy that local golf course that's going out of business. I want to buy that property. I want to buy that garage that I've been looking at forever that I had my first car fixed at. How are you making ends meet right now? And how do you square that? Because you've got a young daughter, you've got your wife, like you've got a family to take care of too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, first priority is Jocko Fuel. I'm a full time employee for Jocko Fuel, um, and uh, sorry, I wanted to say something, but I should probably, I guess, just hold it back.
Sure.
Full time employee for Jocko Fuel, um, and luckily, since we've been building this, the social medias, Pete kind of really went to bat for me that um, to give me some more time down here, and we got 400,000 on Instagram and 350,000 on TikTok. So I can, and a really committed audience. So like I can do my part in introducing them to the brand, where they've given back to me and given me some time back. So that's how I'm squaring the payment on my end. That, and just some like good investments over the past few years of like I been buying Bitcoin for for a long time. I know you had Michael Saylor on. That
Yeah,
was pretty cool.
yeah.
So like just like some decent, not any like crazy investor or anything like that. Just kind of made some good long term moves and put myself in a position to be able to do it. And also, this was like people hear you bought a golf course and you think like, yo, you must have paid $1 million or something for it.
It was a little different
It
in Maine.
wasn't. We're in Chesterville, Maine. It's like I think eventually I'll do a video where I just break all the pricing down. It's all like public info anyway, but like, yeah, like it between me and my parents going halves on it, like it's totally doable.
And look, I mean, I can disclose this. You guys have seen the place that I bought. You've
Yeah,
seen the property, you've seen the barn. I probably put just under $200,000 into it after I bought it, but that's 50 acres. That place is beautiful. It's got this huge 3-story barn. We ran events out of there. Bro, I bought that thing for 295.
crazy.
So, 295. I sold it for just under 6. I put $200,000 into it. So, I broke even on the property if we look at it from that perspective. But the memories and the dreams and the excitement, the enthusiasm, the growth, like I would have lost money on it and still felt like I won.
Right. Yeah, yeah, and I called you as soon as I saw that place for sale because exactly what we're talking about right now. I was looking for a place to do something unique with. So when I heard your place was for sale, it's like everyone around here, everyone in like a 40-mile radius knows that house, like the
Yeah,
Beans Corner house. Like
Beans
so,
Corner.
yeah,
I had
and
a bunch of weirdos show up, man. I was so confused. I'm like, why are these people pulling in my driveway? Why are these people taking pictures? I had people like want to come look at my house. I found one time the security cameras went off. I went out in the barn. People are looking around in the barn. I'm like, can I help you? They're like, yeah, we just wanted to look. I'm like, that's not how this works. Like, it does in Maine. I'm like, oh shit, I better get this stuff figured out, I guess. So
they probably thought it was a museum. I don't know.
maybe. What's the long-term play? Like, is this something you see you doing for a long period of time? Is this something that's enjoyable? I mean, you built up an audience on social media of roughly, based on what you're saying, 1 million people, a little less than, maybe more, depending on what platforms we're looking at, which is incredible in a short period of time. But what's the long-term play?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the long term is just it's kind of just starting to unfold as we're doing this. And first things first is like we got to make sure that we have this idea of like this cool countryside top golf, maybe the Airbnb attached and whatever the whole thing. Um, we have an idea and we've got some good feedback that that's going to work, but we got to just prove it out. Like we got to make sure that this is actually going to work. Like there's actually enough people in the area that care to come hit golf balls into a field. um, I do think it will work. And proof of concept, if it works here, then I don't see why we can't go to Acadia or go to just some bigger Maine or New England markets with it. It is fun. It's exactly what I wanted. Like be out in the sunshine, work with my hands, get off my laptop. Like that's what I was really looking for. We definitely got it. Um, so yeah, we're having fun and we're just kind of figuring it out as we go.
So I really wanted to have you on because I know about your ambition. I know about your drive. Like, there's never been a question about that. From the first time I met you, I thought the same thing that Pete does, and he knows you better than I do. Of man, Ty's driven, he's motivated, he's ambitious, he'll do what it takes. You're talking about it today. Um, and I know there's a lot of guys who would probably hope the same things about themselves, think the same things about themselves, want to accomplish similar things, but I'm sure that you've had your fair share of questions and doubts and concerns and that little voice that says, don't do this, you're an idiot. Like, how does that manifest for you? And then more importantly, how did you overcome that?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the first thing that I've tried to do. It's the first thing that I've really committed to. Um, like I was 19, 20 one time and like wanted to do like the drop shipping and make like internet money, and um, those things got weeded out in my head really fast because I knew that I actually didn't care, and I just had this. I thought I just wanted to like make some money and leave or something. And
Yeah.
those things like literally like I would like put like 3 or 4 hard days into like building these websites and doing all this stupid stuff, and then it would just be gone because I just didn't care about it. And this was the first real time that I really like put my money where my mouth was and like really invested into something. I've been saving for a while, and that's a big. I think that's big. Like once you put your money down and you're committed, like it's just go time. So like, I'd never. I'm making all these videos now of me like talking to a camera, and like I'd never made one video ever of me talking to a camera. Like I never once tried to like gain traction on social media because I didn't have anything that I was, like personally, like I had Origin and Jocko Fuel, but personally I didn't have anything that I was, you know, proud of and trying to let a bunch of people know about. So, um, it was just like just finding the thing that I really wanted to do, and in this case, it was like go into business with my parents, be outside, work on this property that I've lived by my whole life, and try to make something cool for the community. It's like can't nothing to not be pumped up about with that. So it was easy this time.
I think for you, with all due respect, that's probably true. But you've got a wife, and I'm very curious. Again, with all due respect, are there days she says to herself or you, "I wish I would have married a doctor or a lawyer, not this dude who wants to build a golf course in rural Maine"? And how do you navigate that conversation?
Well, she's from northern Maine, 2 hours north
So
of
she
where.
knows. So she's used to it.
Yes, 3 hours north of where we're from. So
Where you and I went and did the border patrol stuff, probably then, close up to there.
crazy, literally right down the road from her house. Crazy.
What? That's wild. I figured it'd be up there somewhere.
Yep. So no, I don't think she wants the city or the I guess overly stable life. She's super supportive of she sees me just dreaming. Like I think that's like something that she admires about me is that I'm just dreaming. Like I want to give her and my daughter the best life possible, and it's like I mean, just in my head, like I'm not gonna do that by being an employee forever. Like I got to build something, and like I've always known that, and that's what I'm gonna do.
What are her dreams? Like, what dreams does she have, and how do you fit that into the equation when it comes to what you're pursuing?
Yeah, I mean, I think a big dream of hers she's living right now, which is being a mother. I mean, it's been it has been the most beautiful thing to watch. Like it, I literally as I was saying that I was just watching her walk her in her little go kart across the driveway here. So
Mm.
um, I think she's a super big family person. She wants to spend time with her family, my family, her daughter. She wants to have more kids. Um, so I think her helping me is a big part of it.
I mean, that's amazing. I think
Yeah,
that's the dream of any man. What about your in-laws? How do your in-laws feel?
man. Like I can't. Like I don't want to just like keep saying like everything is freaking awesome, but everything is
When's
freaking.
things gonna go bad? All right, I'm trying to get to like the bad. When did things go bad, Ty? Come on, help me out here, man.
I had there was a long time of bad. About when I was 18, 18, 19 years old. I was doing a lot of dumb stuff. Like I was partying and not taking anything serious, and just being like a shithead kid. And I'm not from a shithead family. Like my family is like, not definitely not a rich family, just a well respected, hard working family. My grandfather owned a trailer welding business, Nichols Trailers in the area. My uncle's the sheriff of the county. So like I'm like out here being a shithead. Like that's not good. It's not acceptable. So I went through it, and like I punished myself mentally for that. And I just ever since then, like we're just not going back there. I'm not trying to see that disappointment from my family like on their face ever again. And
Mm.
so that's where a lot of it really comes from, is like it's like I'm just trying to live up to what I consider just like my legendary family around here.
Was there a moment where you came to that realization where I don't want to let my family down anymore? Or was that just a series of decisions and over a course of time? What did that look like?
Yeah, I mean, telling my dad that I got arrested for OUI when I was 19 years old, like that was a moment where I was like, okay, like whatever it is I'm doing right now, we're done. Like this is dumb. There's I was just caught in like a bad spiral when I was in my late teens. And um, the more time I spent around Origin and Jocko Fuel, the more responsibility I had, and the less options I had to, you know, do stupid things or be out late or whatever. Like I had to get up and go to work, and I had to because I'm not going to college, and it's like, so people are already kind of skeptical. Um, so you gotta make something of yourself, and um, yeah.
Why do you think people who are complete strangers? I mean, it's easy for me to say why I believe in you and why I think you can make this a success, and even why I wanted to have you on the podcast. Like, I believe in you too. I think you can do this, man. If there was one person who I think could do this, it would be you. But why do complete strangers resonate with what you're doing? I mean, you've grown 1 million people on your social media platforms in what, 3, 4 months? What is
Yeah.
it about what you're doing that resonates so deeply with other people?
I mean, I don't know how deep it is, but like I've thought about it quite a bit. And you know, if you played golf, if you spent enough time on a golf course, at some point the thought has gone through your head, how awesome would it be to own a golf course? So, starting with a hook like that is already pretty catchy. Like, we bought this abandoned golf course, so that's interesting. But there's also a whole like subset of like content that is like, it's like people trying to do something, like people starting businesses. Like people love to get behind somebody trying to do something, which I think is awesome. So you just need to go tell people what you're trying to do. Um, Now I think there's ways to like optimize through
Sure.
content the way that you're telling people. Like if I made the content in a different way, I might not have any followers. So, like I just did a drone shot or something. So I'm taking kind of what I learned from Origin and Jocko Fuel, and being in the media department, and trying to just apply all that to what I'm doing now. And it's optimize the content. Be real. Like I don't want to feel like an asshole talking to the camera. Like some I don't know. I wouldn't want to. I just don't want to feel like a douchebag. Like
I
that's
was
just it.
D-bag is exactly the word I was
Yeah.
that was the word that was in my mind. So you said it. So yep, we're in agreement on that.
Yeah, I don't want to feel like that, but I still need to tell people what I'm doing. So, like, what's the realest way I can do it? Well, let me just take out my phone and just tell you what I'm doing, and don't waste people's time. I think that's a big thing people get wrong in their content sometimes. Is like, you think you're making like an art piece or something. It's like, just don't waste people's time. Just like get to the point and let them let them move on and keep scrolling. Like that's all it is. So, I think I'll build a deeper connection eventually. Once we get the YouTube rolling and people are actually down there at the fields. But I've been blown away by all the messages of people reaching out to, you know, give advice, superintendents of golf courses and professional players, all this. It's like, it is kind of blown my mind of how much people care.
I mean, it's awesome. When Pete told me about it, I'm like, hold on, let me look. And I looked it up. I'm like, all right, we're having Tye on the podcast because him and I are friends. We need to have this conversation. You said something interesting. You said that people, and I'm paraphrasing, but you said something along the lines of people want to believe in you. They want to support you. That isn't the common narrative, though. I hope you know that, right? I mean, you know that. Like the common narrative is people want to pull you down. They want to push you behind. They don't want you to succeed because it represents a threat to them. But you're saying the exact opposite than what we typically hear.
Yeah, no, man. I think people love. I think people love to see people. No, there's haters, like for sure,
Of
like
course,
whatever.
no doubt.
Like there's like, one in every 300 comments that I get is like daddy's money, or like or like this course sucks or something like that. And it's like
It's like we're
literally
not even open.
every other comment is like in total support. So like, at least in my case, and I've seen it in a couple different series of things that I watch, of like, people love to support people that are trying to do something. I think that's a real thing. And I think that is a big misconception, that people are just gonna like hate on you or something like that, or people from your hometown are gonna judge you or something like that. No, like as long as you're being true to yourself, and trying to do something really helpful, um, I don't think that's true. I think you'll find the support as long as you just tell your story.
What would you say to any man listening who has a dream? Maybe they want to start, a small engine repair shop, or buy a golf course locally, or start a restaurant, or any number of things that I know the listeners are thinking about. What would you say to those guys?
Um, I mean, I've just been commenting that people go get it, but in all reality, like, dive into the world that you're looking at. Like, there's like YouTube is my best friend. I use YouTube for everything. It's the reason I got hired at Jocko Fuel, or Origin and Jocko Fuel. It's like led. I find mentors on YouTube, and just be selective with who I listen to. Um, and just try to learn from people that have done it before, because there's plenty of people who have done all kinds of things. So unless it's something totally unique, then it's totally doable. Do it.
Just it's like Jocko. Good. Clearly, you've learned from Jocko because you're like, just do it. Okay. I remember the first conversation I had with Jocko, and I said something like, what would you say to guys who need discipline? He's like, just be more disciplined. I'm like, okay. And 10 years down the road, I'm like, yeah, that was pretty good advice there. Just go do it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's really it. He boils it down. It's true. Just do
Yeah.
it.
Awesome, man. Tye, where do people connect with you? Obviously, you've got the golf course. You're still doing stuff with Jocko Fuel, clearly. Where can I send people? Because I love these conversations because they're a little bit atypical than what we would normally do. But I want to do more of this. I want to find people like us, people like you and me, who are doing really extraordinary things. So other individuals who don't consider themselves unique or talented or special can see that guys like us are still doing amazing things. And I think you're a good example of that. So where do the guys go to connect with you?
And just follow us on Fairway Fields. It's the Fairway Fields on TikTok, You know, my personal page is like I follow myself, Maine Tye. You know, you message me there. I see, you know, most of the messages. So, or shoot me an email or something. So, yeah. But if you're interested in following along, Fairway Fields, that's what it's called down here, and we're gonna see where it goes. But I think feels like we're onto something.
It feels like that to me too, for what it's worth. I can see it, and I'm very excited about what comes of it. Did you go to immersion camp this year?
Just a little bit. And
Yeah,
Ryan, just so you know, my laptop, I just realized is at 2%.
we got to wrap it up, brother. Well,
Sorry, bro.
it's all good. When I come out there next year, I'm gonna come see you. I'm gonna close this out. Ty, I appreciate you, man. We'll connect very soon.
Thank you for having me, man. My first podcast. This was freaking awesome.
Number one. All right, you remember it. Catch you soon, brother.